Ancient cultures and indigenous people believed that animals and humans share the same spiritual essence with each other. They also believed that some animals are attracted to and present themselves to us in specific moments of our lives to reveal messages. Sadly, wolves are most threatened by conflict with humans and intolerance, and the loss of both habitat and protections under state and federal endangered species laws. At their origins, spirit animals, or totems, have been symbolic guides of our journeys of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Before psychology, animals were used as a means to learn about ourselves. Wolves, out of all animals, have a particularly complex and rich series of lessons to teach us. The weird tale of a larger-than-life wolf that outran the law, almost. A North American gray wolf strikes a pose in the snow, recalling the storied figure of the Custer wolf, the so-called gray devil of the desert that haunted South Dakota during the early 20th century. For nearly a decade during the dawn of the 20th century, a lone and furry figure cut a criminal swath across South Dakota's Badlands, evading government officials as well as seasoned trackers and bounty hunters. At the peak of his infamy, the price on his head totaled $500, the equivalent of about $6,000 today. He was the Custer wolf, a North American gray wolf, Canis lupus, so named for the nearby town of Custer, South Dakota. The four-legged outlaw that preyed on livestock was widely reviled as a scourge of farmers and ranchers, but was also a source of fearful speculation, rumored to be an enormous monster possessing supernatural powers that prevented its capture. This marked the beginning of federal bounty programs to exterminate wolves. These programs were so barbaric that North American gray wolves were largely eradicated in most of the lower 48 states before they were offered protection by the Endangered Species Act in 1978, with only a few hundred animals remaining in Minnesota, reported by the Fish and Wildlife Service. Coexisting with wildlife is integral to organizations such as Defenders, with a mission to protect all native wild animals and plants in their natural communities. We are fortunate to share the land, water and sky with an impressive diversity of wildlife. However, because of the fragmentation of habitats, the risks of habituation and the movement of animals, conflicts between humans and wildlife can and do occur. These interactions may increase as climate change shifts animal ranges, and as species recover or disperse to new areas. To enable people and wildlife to share landscapes, communities and defenders can equip people with innovative science-based tools and strategies to reduce conflicts that may occur with wildlife. The goal is to foster transformation in both human attitudes and how wildlife and people interact, from conflict to coexistence. Organizations such as Defenders have been at the forefront of coexistence efforts for decades, and have pioneered transformational approaches and tools that successfully limit negative interactions between humans and wildlife in communities from Alaska to Florida to the desert Southwest to northern Rockies, and many places in between. Defenders uses a community-based coexistence model, working directly with communities to build social acceptance for wildlife and develop, test and actualize solutions to conflicts with wildlife. Through on-the-ground work, there has been first-hand positive impact that effective non-lethal practices can have on wildlife species. Increasing the widespread adoption of these coexistence practices could have major implications for wolves, bears, bison and other imperiled wildlife, by enabling their populations to coexist and recover where they previously were not tolerated. Advocating for coexistence measures at the federal, state and local levels, working closely with decision makers to strengthen and develop laws, policies and programs that affect wildlife. Engage in a variety of community education and outreach activities, everything from training on how to properly use bear spray, to giving presentations. Work to place range riders, livestock guarding dogs and trail cameras in areas of concern to help monitor nearby predators so ranchers can better protect their livestock. Use tools like noisemakers, spotlights, flattery and temporary electrified corrals to scare wildlife away. By preparing local communities to coexist safely with wildlife and minimizing negative interactions between humans and wildlife in backyards and on the range, we can help imperiled wildlife rebound and expand to their historical range. What is so special about wolves? Wolves are complex, highly intelligent animals who are caring, playful, and above all devoted to family. Only a select few other species exhibit these traits so clearly. Just like elephants, gorillas, and dolphins, wolves educate their young, take care of their injured, and live in family groups. Before psychology, animals were used as a means to learn about ourselves. Wolves, out of all animals, have a particularly complex and rich series of lessons to teach us. Protect the wisdom, protect the freedom,